Atlanta, we're on the air, and it's race day today here in the Peach State. Welcome everybody to the Atlanta Motor Speedway in Hampton, Georgia for the 9th race of the 2024 season of the Winston All-American Series, the Hooters 300. I'd like to welcome everybody to the track once again with live coverage right here on the North American Sim Racing Network, and up in the press box high above the track, my name is Trey Wright for the NASRN. 49 laps are on the docket for today's race around this mile-and-a-half track in Hampton, Georgia, and things are getting down to the nitty-gritty when it comes to the inaugural season of the Winston All-American Series. A couple of days ago, across the country in Little Penny, California, was the Super Flow Showdown, and that really shook up the point standings. We saw Mike Vincent Jr. first and foremost go to Gatorade Victory Lane after beating out Jim Vincent left for the race. And Vincent Jr. starts on the outside pole. Alongside him is your pole sitter Logan Alexander. Both of those guys getting some bonus points, but they're a little too far back in the points to really do anything with 6 races to go, including today. But now we'll go to your point standings at the bottom of your screen, and oh boy, they really jumbled up after the race at Levi Strauss. Roy Ribbleton is back in the points lead with a 62-point lead over Jim Vincent left, who rose 6 positions after his second place run at the Levi Strauss Signature Speedway. Then you got Nathan Orman, who fell 2 spots. He's in third, 82 points behind. Juan Rodriguez in fourth, and Brad Stover rounds out your top 5 in the points. Riley Sampson, Donnie Fallington, Lucien Bianchi, John Andrews, and Danny Fallington round out your top 10, and Toby Murphy is the only who's in 11th of the point standings right now. He's the only driver outside the top 10 that is less than 200 points back. Again, we'll go over the point system real quick. Every position is worth 5 bonus points. The max points you can get in a race is 215, I believe so. And then it goes all the way down to 3 points for 3 points, 2 points, and 1 point for 40th, 41st, and 42nd after these races. But we've got quite a diverse schedule of tracks coming up. Today we've got Atlanta, then we have Indianapolis, next race, Watkins Glen, Charlotte, Hillside, Rockingham, and finally the Jegs 250 at Daytona to round out the season here in the Winston All-American Series, the inaugural season, but it has been a fun one. But now the point standings are really coming down to the wire, and especially at a track like this. A race is kind of like a super speedway. We are using the old version of Atlanta, but this one with the I&I created by Matt Tuck a couple of years ago races much like the super speedway does today here in the present time in 2024. But enough of the pre-race show. Let's get down to the actual race itself, and let's go down trackside to get the most famous words in motorsport to get race number 9 of the 2024 calendar of the WAS kicked off in Atlanta.
Drivers, start your engines.
And the engines have been fired on the pit lane here in hot Atlanta. All 42 cars roaring to life to go around for 49 laps. It's Logan Alexander who starts on the pole position today. Mike Vincent Jr. to his outside, looking to go for 2 in a row. Matthew Hubert and Chris Reynolds make up row 2. Bradley Ream and John Andrews starts in row 3. So everybody is rolled off the pit lane. There is Roy Ribbleton starting in the 38th position. Beneath him is Lucien Bianchi. Then there's Brad Stover in the 98. Orman starts 12th. And Vincent Leff starts 21st. And Juan Rodriguez starting 16th. We'll go down below to your race analysis. Like we said, it's going to be a 49-lap race around this mile-and-a-half speedway with 24 degrees of banking in the corners. No pit stop scheduled today, so it should be a fun one as we close in on the final 7 races here in the inaugural season of the Winston All-American Series. So field rolls through turn number 4. Pace car makes the hard left-hand turn down the pit lane. Alexander and Vincent Jr. through the restart zone. Green flag is in the air, and we are live from Hotlanta, ladies and gentlemen. At the front, it's your Michigan winner of Logan Alexander going to the point. Mike Vincent Jr., your GTLM winner yesterday in the Flowmaster GT Championship, already falling back, and he's 3 wide as the majority of this field is 3 abreast. Now to the point, it's Peter Roshwalski with Dylan Matthews. 2 is inside. John Andrews already making up a ton of ground in the 55. He's going to try and lead a lap, but they are 3 wide through a lot of this field, and right in the middle of that murder hornet's nest is Nathan Orman in that Cal Naughton Jr. Old Spice number 88. Again, this track is very similar to Homestead, where they can run 3 wide and 4 wide without any sort of issues. And everybody on this track, all the 42 cars running within 2.5 seconds of one another. Alexander gets hung up on the outside lane. Bream thought about making it 4 wide, but he thinks better of it, and at the stripe, it's Will Parrish who will lead lap number 3. Again, seeing a very similar race today like we saw when the Mission Barbecue Cup Series forayed to Hampton, Georgia a couple of years ago in their 3rd season. Here comes Matt Oskin underneath Danny Fallington. Fallington, as for the lead, John Andrews looking to get a bonus point for leading a lap. At the stripe, he's just going to be edged out there by Will Parrish. Andrews to the point for right now. Oskin will go underneath him. And Fallington continues to fall back in that 65. Again, he had a really decent start to the season, but the middle of his campaign was really hampered there by that DNF while leading the race at Homestead. Is just 3 wide for the lead. It'll be Oskin who will lead the field at the line to lead lap 5. But again, Fallington really didn't have a good season. As Bianchi gets tight through the corner, they're going to be 4 wide, but they keep it off of one another. File it back down to 3 wide as Toby Murphy in that 69 machine, who dominated the first part of the Superflow Showdown, looking to continue that dominance in the 69. It's Tristan Roshwalski who will lead that time by. I believe we've had 7 different leaders. That was Reggie Fogelman. Hit the apron there in the 2. That Mickey Bob Dodge making its way through the field. And your highest running driver in the top 10 in points right now is Bianchi in that 27. She started all the way back in the 37th spot, and she right now is up to 3rd here on lap number 8. Brad Stover also making his way through the field again. They cycle through here like the Tour de France. You can see Samat Oskin, who was leading just a couple laps ago, already falling back in the Keystone Light number 30. Trying to find your pole sitter. There's Logan Alexander in the 31, alongside with the outside pole sitter of Vincent Jr. Jr. doing double duty this weekend. Again, ran the race out in California, the Napa, California Grand Prix. John Andrews goes 4 wide there. Vincent Jr. had quite the weekend, quite the last week. He won the race at Levi Strauss, then won the California Grand Prix for GT Le Mans, and sat on the outside pole here today. So quite a busy weekend so far for him, and a busy weekend for a lot of these guys. A lot of them staying out in California to run that GT Le Mans race, one of them being Alex Lozano and Brad Stover, in fact. And those drivers running 1-2. Stover, top 10 in points. He's going to try and get a lap-led bonus to the inside of Lozano. Murphy currently back still in 3rd. Jana Fogelman, who won the B-Main at Levi Strauss, up in here. And Roy Ribbleton, who got caught up in a couple of in a singular accident back in California yesterday. Right back up here is our 4 wide behind him. Will Parrish, Skylar Taylor, Owen Miles, and Tristan Roshwalski. 4 wide, but we remain green as Brad Stover goes to the point. Here comes Toby Murphy as Alex Lozano goes up the hill. He's able to regain control of that car, but he washed that 98 out of the line. Stover will fall back to third, but thankfully he's got wide open track underneath him. Now Lozano making a charge to the inside of Toby Murphy. A clean textbook pass as Murphy will fall back into the clutches of Stover and Parrish. Ribbleton, meanwhile, making his way through the field. Again, was caught up in an accident yesterday with Colin Bear in the Flowmaster GT Championship. Underneath him is Eric Monaco. Monaco down to the inside. Another one of those drivers who is doing double duty this weekend. Same with Nathan Ormond, and he is running right up front, that 88. Goes a little high as he had to get out of the gas a little bit there to get around Skylar Taylor. But it's Will Parrish and Peter Rashwalski back up front. Meanwhile, back in here, Trey Smith and Caleb Rose have fallen off the pace, and falling off the face of the earth has been Caleb Rose's championship hopes the last couple of weeks. Ever since he was turned around at Thornton last week, it has not been a good stretch of races for the driver of this 35. Same with Nathan Buchanan. Didn't have a good run yesterday in California, and he's not having a good run either today. We look through the field. Back up front, Owen Miles, Kosmi Takashi, and Peter Rashwalski 3 wide for the lead. Miles, who was taken out in an accident with Logan Williams in the GT Le Mans race yesterday, finds himself in a battle for the lead. Now Ormond to the inside, 3 wide, 3 by 3 for about 2 to 3 rows there. Ormond at the stripe. He'll get a lap lead bonus. It's just barely beating out Takashi at the stripe. 11 thousandths of a second there for the driver of this 88. And he is pulling ahead in that 88 machine. Has still yet to win this season. And again, we've yet to have a caution in this race, but we weren't expecting to have any. Ribbleton falling back in the 95. And this is really good for Ormond as he's led 2 straight laps. Now Rogel Dorn coming to his inside. Help from Rich Roy. Now Roy coming in that 22 is drafting help from Dylan Matthews in the 44. 3 wide for 5th. As Bianchi fights for Ormond for the highest running top 10 driver. Again, no chase here in the Winston All-American Series, so it was just strictly based off points. And with how much the next 7 races, including today, are wild cards, we really don't know who's going to end up in victory lane and how people are going to end up in the points, because today we still don't know how people are going to finish because they keep cycling up front. Then Indianapolis, that'll probably be a wreck fest. Watkins Glen is Watkins Glen. Charlotte is complete chaos. Hillside will probably be the first tame race we have. But then we got Rockingham, that's usually chaos. And then Daytona is the ultimate wild card on the super speedway. So again, nobody's really the championship favorite right now except for Roy Ribbleton. And Ribbleton has been keeping his nose clean the majority of these races. I don't think he's been involved in any, if any incident crash-wise this season. He's just been, running up towards the front for the majority of this season. Been able to keep his nose clean, really doing that sponsor of safety clean really good when it comes to keeping his car untouched. And right now, he's still in the battle for this win, but closing in on the halfway point in 2 laps. It's Bianchi who will lead that lap. The Zin machine of Matthew Hubert, 12th in the points right now. The first driver under 200 points away from Roy Ribbleton, but where Ribbleton's running right now, Hubert is going to need a lot of help as we got some contact in the back. Someone was in the outside wall, and it's Rich Roy in the 22. He'll ride the lightning as Ferris nearly gets into Parrish. but they'll all keep it straight. But Rich Roy, the first car with any sort of incident here today. Everybody running within 10 seconds for one another still as Brad Stover with an aggressive block to the outside. Now Lozano to his inside of that A&W 98. Burger King versus A&W, and Zinn in third. And they'll wash it all down with Bud Light, who is actually in third right now. I would recommend drinking Valvoline, ladies and gentlemen. With Valvoline car looking for second underneath Rushwalski going into turn number 3. Lozano back out front. Rushwalski looking to get both him and Peter a lap lead today. As the Rushwalski brothers both inside the top 10 in this pack. Meanwhile, Ribbleton has fallen outside the top 10. He's on that outside lane. Trying to find Nathan Ormond. Ormond is somewhere back in here as our monitor keeps glitching in and out. I imagine I probably missed him. Nathan Ormond right now is actually looking for third underneath Hubert. Was going the wrong direction as our monitor keeps going out. Trying to fix it again. I don't know what is wrong with our monitor. Because it just keeps going in and out. But nonetheless, 3 wide for the lead, and Ormond himself will lead lap number 26. As to the inside, a very close call as Parrish nearly took out the entirety of the field. They're 4 wide for second as Oskin will file it back down and get out of the gas. Now Parrish to the inside of the 88. They're getting really racy up at the front with how these tires are beginning to wear out. They're going to be slip sliding through the corners, and I wouldn't be surprised if we have a yellow soon. But past the halfway point, it's Will Parrish with the lead. Alex Lozano second that last time by, but Stover to the inside of Parrish. Josh Harmon and Roy Ribbleton have found themselves up inside the top 5. Then it's Oskin, Hubert, Toby Murphy, Skylar Taylor, Nathan Stapleton, Brian Ferris. A lot of people. So 3 wide for the lead at the stripe. It'll be Stover who gets 5 bonus points for leading a lap. Now Ribbleton to the inside of the 98. And you gotta think that the other shoe is going to drop at some point as an aggressive block there by Ribbleton on Stover. Brad had a run on the outside lane, but that's going to allow Stapleton to go down below in the Sunoco bow tie. Not going to get a run through the corner. Ribbleton will lead that lap. I think Ribbleton might have the most laps led at this point. Harmon bombing it through the outside. Stapleton will get the race lead down the back straightaway, but Skylar Taylor's got a little closer drafting help from Brian Ferris. Through 3 and 4 they go, and it'll be Taylor leading her first lap of the afternoon. Help from Brian Ferris and Peter Rushwalski. Now that inside lane of Dylan Matthews will transition as Rushwalski moves to the middle. Under 20 laps to go. Taylor out front in the 34. Now here comes Matthews to the inside of her. Brian Ferris will shut the door on Matthews as they go 3 wide for the top spot. Ferris will duck in line between the 34 and the 38. Taylor will lead another lap here. And Matthews will be down to the inside of her. Dylan Matthews down low. Rushwalski even lower in the 82. And again, they're beginning to really wad things up. This is not the super speedway configuration of Atlanta, but they race exactly like a super speedway. They're looking like Indy cars at Las Vegas. Of course, Dan Weldon probably won't get whacked in the head whacked in multiple different ways in the catch fence. Rest in peace, Dan. Take a look and see where a couple of our guys are. There's Jim Vincent left, currently sitting in the 29th position that time by. Now he's up to 26th. And Ribbleton and Stover have fallen back, but they're going to really cycle as Will Parrish. Parrish has actually led the most laps here, and he's been really good with the cycle. He is way too far out front. He's going to get swallowed by this lead pack in a couple seconds. Parrish still at the point. Murphy to the inside. We'll get a little bit of run as Parrish comes down the hill. Has to get out of the gas. Murphy will come by in the 69. Murphy with a good block there on Parrish going into turn number 3. Bianchi now to the inside. Parrish wants the lead back. Will Parrish has been the dominant car today as he's back in the race lead. Has led 6 laps so far in the Dickies Dodge. Now we get it back. Hopefully that'll solve things with the monitor. I don't know why it's been like this. Probably have to clean out the raw footage. But it's Toby Murphy falling back in the 69 to the clutches of Josh Harmon, Alex Lozano, and Nathan Stapleton. I don't think these guys are going to catch up to lap traffic as we close in on 10 laps to go from Atlanta. Now it's Riley Sampson to the point. Beneath him is the 5 of Stapleton. Stapleton will push Sampson to the race lead. Bianchi with a transition pass there on Ormond for that 4th spot. 12 laps to go here from Atlanta. Rushwalski a little unstable in the middle, but he's able to regain control of his Pontiac. Same with Owen Miles, who blocks the other Rushwalski down at the bottom. Oh, Owen Miles, a little bit of contact on Nathan Ormond. And Ormond is going to come down the pit lane, so we are going to have pit stops here. You know, I set it to 1x, and it didn't come down the pit lane with testing. That is really weird. You know, they should have been able to do more than 40 laps. But nonetheless, it's Roy Ribbleton in the lead. Now everybody's going to hit the pit lane. So pit stops with 10 laps to go. I honestly didn't think this was going to happen. It didn't happen in the test sessions. I gotta set it to 1x. I know I did. But nonetheless, that's going to jumble things up. Ormond is off the pit lane. Same with Rushwalski. Staying out was Riley Sampson, but now everybody else is going to come down. And we will indeed have pit stops in the late stages of this one. I think the undercut should work, as coming around will be the 88. He'll pass everybody over here. Again, we could have a caution come out. It'll be Ribbleton who will lead the field off. Here comes Ormond with a boatload of steam. He'll have the momentum. I don't know if he's going to be able to get around Takashi. But now Roy Ribbleton in his own zip code right now. Ormond's coming on Takashi. But Ribbleton, I don't know if these guys are going to beat out this 95. It'll be Taylor who's the first off, and Ribbleton is just going to blow by. Taylor's got to get up the racetrack to block the 95. Oh, Ribbleton is a lot faster, but Taylor will beat him out. And it should be Skylar Taylor at the stripe. Yes, it is going to be Taylor's. Bianchi will go to the inside of Roy Ribbleton. Now Nathan Ormond has got warmer tires than everybody else as he's 3 wide up top. Will Parrish back in 5th. Now Bianchi to the inside of Skylar Taylor. To the inside, this would be a much-needed win as the two ladies in the field battling together. And Bianchi will go to the race lead. Ribbleton has got 1 lap lesser fresher tires than these guys up here. But after the pit cycle, it was Juan Rodriguez. Rodriguez fell back to 39, so he's going to fall in the point standings. Given where Ribbleton is running as he goes underneath Skylar Taylor, I'd say Ribbleton is probably going to be out to a 150-point lead over everybody else. You know, Bianchi in the 27. She was 172 points behind Ribbleton as Ribbleton has gotten around Skylar Taylor. 5 laps to go, and Roy Ribbleton is on his horse in that 95. He is still looking for his first career win as Taylor to the inside of the Safety Clean Dodge. Now Rogel Dorn is heading down the pit lane, and it's an engine failure for the Cub Cadet number 8. But 4 to go, last time by. Bianchi and Taylor now fighting for the race lead, and Riley Sampson has joined the fray. Sampson to the inside of Ribbleton. Here comes Nathan Orman trying to get around this 95 and close into that points lead. It won't be too much as Ribbleton might have an issue. He is falling fast in that 95. I don't see anything in the chat for the lead. Here comes Riley Sampson. Sampson down low. Orman will make this a 3-car battle for the race lead with 3 laps to go from Atlanta. Orman now moves to the inside, trying to get around Riley Sampson. Orman with a move to the inside of the 10. Whatever adjustments they made to that 88, he has proven that he is the fastest car on the track. Coming around to take popsicle sticks in the air, 2 laps to go from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. They might, no, I don't think they're going to catch up to Rogel Dorn lap traffic-wise, but that 88 is flying around Hotlanta. Riley Sampson might have one last opportunity to get around Riley, but it might be another race where Sampson finishes in the 2nd spot. Sampson's going to have 4 more corners. He is catching up to that 88. But white flag in the air, one more time around the Atlanta Motor Speedway for Nathan Ormond. Ormond opened up a gap over Riley. Can Riley get there in time? He's got about 3/4 of a mile to do so, but he might be too far back. Through turns 3 and 4, the man who didn't make the show last race will come around to take the checkered flag. Nathan Ormond wins at Hotlanta. He won't get the points lead, but it's his first career win in the Winston All-American Series. And Nathan Ormond taking advantage of that pit cycle to put on those fresh Goodyears and fly around this track. Ormond with a fantastic end of the race there. Riley Sampson once again coming up short. But Sampson finished inside the top 10. Where he's inside the top 10 points-wise, that'll be a great run for Sampson. And it's bid day for the sororities here at Ryder. I don't know if you guys can hear that through this. It's my girlfriend's sorority outside my dorm for their bid day, but it's Nathan Ormond who goes to victory lane here. Riley Sampson in 2nd, Peter Roshwalski 3rd, Lucien Bianchi and Nathan Stapleton round out your top 5. Good runs for Ormond, Sampson, and Bianchi. Ribbleton will finish 6th, so he'll retain a little bit of his points lead, but Ormond will cut in by he was 16 spots back, so Orman will cut in by about maybe, I'd say about 50 points. About 30 points, rather. Taylor, Sandoval, Murphy, Parrish, and Takashi, or Parrish was your last driver inside the top 10. And Rogel Dorn was the only car to finish off the lead lap with an engine failure. He was able to fix it, but all 42 cars finishing this race here. Logan Alexander, your pole sitter, finishing back in 39th in a bad race for Jim Vincent left in the 90. But that's going to do it here from Atlanta. Congratulations once again to Nathan Orman for his win in the Hooters 300. And if you thought today was chaotic, oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, you've got no flippin' idea. The Menards 200 from Indianapolis on February 21st is coming up soon, and that is going to be one heck of a race and back. Then we got the Car Quest at the Glen at Watkins Glen. The Mission Barbecue 300 at Charlotte. Obligatory. That race is going to be absolutely... that's going to be a train wreck. The Duncan 200 from Hillside. The GM Goodwrench 250 from Rockingham. And finally, to round out the season, the Jegs 250 from Daytona on March 8th. We've officially got less than a month. Actually, we've had less than a month to go in the WASP season ever since Thornton. But that's going to do it here once again. Thank you all so much for tuning in of today's coverage of the Winston All-American Series live on the North American Sim Racing Network. And we will see you in just a couple of days from Speedway, Indiana for the Menards 200. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. Here are your point standings after race number 9 of the 2024 season of the WASP. And from Hampton, Georgia, my name is Trey Wright. Have a great evening, ladies and gentlemen.